Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis, here with G Daddy to talk about the finale episode of Survivor, season 47, The Last Stand. We've done it, G Daddy. We made it through 14 episodes of this show, recapping it together. How do you feel about how everything went down, and what's your overall thoughts?
Oh, the whole season has been great. Just looking at it from a different perspective and just understanding a little bit more about what these super fans see in the game. So yeah, definitely learning the game by doing this every week, and it's been great. It's been great getting to spend time with you every week, and yeah. So it's been awesome. Overall, been really awesome to be able to do it with you. So yeah, thank you very much for inviting me.
It was your idea. You didn't know it was your idea. I kind of you backwards stumbled into it.
I was joking.
And
Oh
I
yeah,
guess I don't have a good sense of humor.
yeah, I was joking, and then you said, "Oh, great, you can make it now because the first episode just
Just aired.
just launched. So if you watch that, we could get the first episode." And I didn't even know that it was even starting. I didn't know anything about that. So yeah, it's been fun. Been a lot of fun. How about for you?
Oh my god, it's been super great. I've covered Survivor in the past on my channel, but I watch a lot of other coverage on a lot of different other things, and so I didn't necessarily feel the need to cover it. But then having you and Sheila come and cover with me, it's just been really fun. Since it was really because of you that I started getting really into reality TV. So I think it's kind of like a full circle moment to start watching Survivor and covering with you and Sheila. So it's been
Yeah,
great.
that's been over 20 years, more than that, right? So 20 was 24 years, I guess. Yeah, 24 years.
Mm-hmm.
So since Survivor started. So but you've watched it from the very beginning. But yeah, we started watching, what was it?
Road
The other
rules. You
one
don't
first.
remember this, but you told me about this guy, Abram, that was a wild child on Road Rules. They're living on an RV, like 6 or 8 people, and he was just wild. And you're like, you have to see this guy. And I was like,
Really?
okay. Yeah. And so I started watching Road Rules when I was like, I don't know, 14 or 15. And then I went back and I watched all of them, and I would go to the library. I'd rent VHS tapes of The Real World and Road Rules. And so, yeah, it was you pushed me in the direction to seeing people living in these interesting situations. Like I never had heard of it before. So
Well, it was new to everybody. I mean, the whole idea of reality TV was new to everybody because before that, I mean, we had regular shows, right?
like
Nothing that
cops, we
was.
had like cops and
Oh, Cops was reality. That was good. Yeah. Bad
and
Boys. Bad
Star
Boys.
Search. I love
Which one?
too. Star Search.
Yeah, but we never
I watched
considered. We
that.
always had those kind of shows for like going back over the years. But Star Search, I guess, was a reality thing in a way. Yeah,
Kind of,
I
kind of
guess
like
so.
an
But I think
American Idol. You know what I mean? So kind of reality, real people
American
singing.
Idol, but that wasn't around back then.
Right. No, but Star Search was.
Yeah, Star Search was American Idol. Yeah, that's probably close to being the same thing. Absolutely. But yeah, I forget what the first one was. Was it?
America's Funniest Home Videos, maybe.
Yeah, I never treated them like that though. Those ones, the early ones, I never really treated them like that. I think what was the first one? Maybe it was Road Rules. Maybe.
The Real World, Road Rules. But I started watching Road Rules first, and then I started watching the Real World and getting up to date. So by the time
Right.
we got to when Survivor started, Real World and Road Rules were doing challenges against each other, and that's when the challenge was born, which was a little bit before Survivor started, when the challenge started. And
Okay.
so then Survivor started, and I was already hooked. I watched Big Brother, the first one, when it was all weird with like, it was a completely different concept than Big Brother is now. But I remember watching it with the girl Hollywood
Really,
and
you got a
Eddie
great memory.
McGee with the one leg who ended up winning for season. Spoiler alert. So yeah, I mean, I've definitely been involved, but I do think it's because you kind of led me towards Road Rules when I was a teenager.
Well, it was different. It was definitely different, and this type of TV does bring a lot of interest, around the world, right? Look how many reality shows are out there now. around the world, because once they have one show, then they take it and they put it out in all these different languages, all these different countries. So it really has expanded over the last 20 something years. This whole, reality TV thing is it's awesome. It's
I mean,
awesome.
I
So
love it. I personally love it, and I've come up in an arts background, so people are like, you shouldn't like reality TV if you like acting, but I'm like, I don't know, it's so compelling, just putting people in these wild situations and watching how they react, hopefully naturally, and so I find it captivating. I'm sorry, I like seeing real behavior just as much as I like seeing good acting.
yeah.
We have some
So
friends. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I
Go
was
ahead.
just
What's
saying
going on?
hello to Naomi and Taj that's here hanging out. Hello, hello, Kathy. Yes, the finale was great. Hi, Kate. Really glad this we all did this. We did this together. It's been a great watch. Thank you, Kate. Thank you for joining us every week. It's been a good time. Oh, my siblings and I love Real World and Road Rules. Absolutely. Kate says, I was raised on 80s MTV, so by the time Real World started, I was biased against the non-music programming. Okay, fair, fair. Sheila's in the house.
Yeah, sorry about that. Technical difficulties.
No problem, Sheila. We're just kind of
God.
vamping on, our love of reality TV and kind of being able to come together these Sundays for the last 14 weeks to talk together. So what are your thoughts? Hi.
I think that's awesome. It's great. And it got us into the Survivor again.
Well, you guys were still kind of keeping up to date, but I guess just looking at it through a different lens.
Well, yeah, I mean, it would come on, and yeah, we absolutely kind of watched it sometimes when it was on, but we weren't. Oh, when does Survivor start? We got to watch it. Put it on the calendar.
Yeah, we didn't put it on the
calendar. We got to be there from day one. Like, we didn't do that, right? Yeah. But if it was on and we saw it was on, we might have. The last season I think we watched, right? Yeah. But we didn't. I mean, I don't even remember it. To be honest with you, I remember Charlie, and Maria, and like I remember one with D. Was that the one before that?
Before that, yeah, 45.
Yes, but I kind of remember vaguely these, but this time, geez, I even know their names.
Yeah, and the tribes that they were on and their game strategies, and you're able to rank them. Like, you guys are doing well. You guys are Survivor aficionados, we'll say.
We're definitely working on it. Definitely working.
So how did you guys enjoy the finale in general? Like, did you find it was a good watch? Or Sheila, I think you answered this, Dad.
The second half, yes. Well, yeah, yes, it was great. And, there was the fire, it was great. But, it was kind of predictable. We all kind of knew how it was going to shake down. There was quite questionable moments there, but ultimately, it
wasn't a surprise how it went down.
Right.
Well,
for sure.
For me, it was, it was kind of weird feelings for me because it was somewhat anticlimactic because the episodes before were just so great. And so coming into this one, we, like Sheila said, we kind of knew who's probably going to win. Right. And just the energy for me was a little different. However, like Sheila said, there was some great moments in this episode. I mean, great moments in the episode. Absolutely. However, as we'll talk about here, once the first challenge was over, it was kind of a foregone.
Yeah. 100%. So this episode's called The Last Stand. It opens up with Jeff talking about Operation Italy. And it seems like Jeff really loved that this went down. It seems that he has like a rejuvenated energy towards this season, especially with Operation Italy, with Andy and like everything that's been going on with Genevieve. Like, it just seems like he really liked these players and how they played the game. And so he talks about how Operation Italy sent Rachel into stealth mode, and it ended up taking Caroline out of the game. And then Andy goes out of the game. And I feel like he was very excited by this end game. What are you guys thinking of how Jeff was kind of, presenting these last two episodes? I thought he was really into it.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, his making great TV, right? So a lot of it's in editing, of course, but his producing it, making great TV. And I think he's proud of his production this season for sure. and proud of the players that were on there. So, big part of Survivor is choosing and bringing on players that are going to create the drama, that are going to create the excitement, they're going to be good game players. And I think he did a good job this year casting and bringing on great players to play against each other this season. And I think overall, yeah, he's absolutely proud of how it went, because his molding, the future of Survivor with every episode he does. So yeah, I mean, I'd be into it, especially the last episode. Like, who's going to win? I mean, I'd definitely be into it, so if I was him as the host.
Did you guys know that Rachel was an alternate for the previous season?
I saw that somewhere. Sorry, Sheila.
Yeah, no, we heard that
Yeah.
somewhere. So what does that mean? Like, she has to go there?
So
and be
basically,
ready?
she's as if she was cast on season 46. So she was there. She was amongst all the other people that were, you're around quiet. Like, you have to be quiet. And you can't talk to anybody, but you see the other people in the room eating, or so you're as if you're cast. Except I think you don't get maybe any colors yet, like buff colors, or you're not wearing your buff colors, or I'm not sure how that part works, but basically you do interviews, like you're acting as if you're going to be going on the show, and it's if somebody, I guess, drops out, that's your counterpart. So her counterpart
I
didn't
think
drop out.
that's an unfair advantage personally, because look at Andy. He got up there and he had the jitters coming into this, right? Because he, first time experience and so forth. But if Rachel's been there, she's been through the interviews, she's seen what it's like to get started and what they need to do. She has got an advantage, because you know what it's like. When I was a kid, you go to the club for the first time, kind of get a little butterflies in there.
That's not your dance moves?
No, you get little butterflies in there. So when I was a kid, anyways, like I would get butterflies in there going into a club that I've never been into before, right? And once you've been there every week, you come in and everyone's saying, "Hey, Dave, how you doing?" So it's different because you've got the experience and you're comfortable. So I think she came into the game more comfortable than everybody else because she's been there before. So I think that was an unfair advantage that she had.
She did say that she didn't say unfair, obviously, but she definitely said it was an advantage that she had the experience before. She wasn't nervous about what's going to be happening next. She wasn't like, she wasn't on edge in the sense that she knew what to expect. And so she was able to come in with a more of a calm sense, and, was able to get centered more quickly probably than if she I don't think she would have won with the cast and if she had gone out her first time. And so, I mean, this was maybe her lucky formula to win.
Very, very much so. Very much so.
I mean, she had a lot of luck this season. So
I think so. I mean, I think her luck really turned with Saul helping her out with that. I forget what it was. Was it a steal a vote or go home or something? Like that?
So basically at the reward challenge, Saul had found, I think it was a scroll or whatever, that said that you could give somebody that was going to tribal council safety without power. So that would mean that they would just leave the game, or the other thing was steal a vote, I believe.
Okay.
And so they got to choose between those two options what they wanted to do. And she chose to obviously get out of there.
Would you think that was a turning point in her game?
Well, she would have gone home. So absolutely. Yeah, like if that didn't exist, she would have gone home and the whole game would have been completely different, right?
Yeah.
Someone else would have got the idol in the fries. Someone else would have gone on the journey. You know what I mean? So all the things that were in her favor, like she was just really lined up with this being her fate, her destiny, I find.
Yeah, she was destined to win for sure. With
especially with her starting, like being supposed to be on last season, but didn't make it and is on this season. Like, I think it kind of all lined up for her to win, which is, I think, really kind of cool. If you look at, destiny manifestation, fortune telling, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. But everyone's doing that. Everyone was manifesting. So how come she got it? She was manifesting more.
Well, maybe it was her time, like, because he also, like, there's divine timing as well, right? So just because, like, they might have won, but in different ways. Sam was manifesting. He manifested second place. You know what I mean? Maybe he didn't get the win. Like, maybe he wasn't manifesting the win. Maybe he didn't believe that he was gonna have the win. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe the universe had something better in store for him. It wasn't his time.
It wasn't his time. Yeah, I get that.
He's also really young too. We'll just say Sam specifically, even Teeny, like they're all quite young.
23 or something like that, right?
I think 24, which is pretty young. I mean, I know a lot of people around that age have won before, but I think 32 is just a little bit better of an age to win $1 million, or 34. I think Rachel's 34. So
okay, excellent for her.
The final four is Sam, Teeny, Sue, and Rachel. We were kind of saying going into this episode that Rachel's pretty much a shoo-in, then maybe Sam, then Sue, then Teeny is probably, the order of people, the power rankings here of how people are likely going to win. We're on Becca on night 24. And Teeny is talking about how Genevieve was a legend, and she can't believe that Genevieve is gone. I'm actually pretty sad about Genevieve being gone, and Andy. We did talk about them, obviously, both last week, but I did miss them this episode.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there was, quite frankly, not a lot of challenge in this episode to me. I don't know what you think about that, but it was a foregone conclusion in my mind. There wasn't any
tension.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't have you had the protagonist, I guess, there, but you didn't have, what do you call it, the antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing there that was competing really against her, except for Sam. But we knew that even if Sam got to final, he just could not beat
her.
Rachel's resume. I mean, this was not going to happen. He gave it a good shot. Are we supposed to be talking about what's going to happen down the road here as we go through this? Because I feel like we're just talking about the winner right now.
However we talk about it, we talk about it. Let's just go.
Yeah, but absolutely, I just think that it was kind of dull, coming out of that. But I did wish Andy was there. Yeah, Genevieve, you would have liked her to be there, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, she was probably the best player. I mean, Rachel was great, and she won all those immunities, and she has, like, she did stellar.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as, Genevieve was the one they all feared.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't fear Rachel in the same way. And even I saw some outtakes where Rachel was talking, and she was like, that woman was, like, formidable. So she was like a really big target, and I was sad to see her go because I felt like she just really elevated the game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I totally agree with that. I think what you're saying with it being a bit dull is, if I look at when I'm writing, say, a script, you're always looking to create conflict, right? You need these characters to go through adversity, and you need them to have tension. You need them to have things they need to overcome, and it doesn't seem as though there was as much as that as beforehand. Like, we love seeing the battle of, like, okay, they're coming up, like, they're not going to back down. They're coming up with a way to fight the battle here, and so that was creating some really great tension. And then seeing the underdog win, you're like, yes, it's so fun. But then we don't really have that tension. It definitely kind of takes the wind out of the sails, in my opinion. I agree.
But hey, everyone that returned was happy. You've got what I see here. Sue was reflecting on her journey, cheerfully stating that she hopes her daughter Chelsea is proud of her. So that's one of the reasons that she was there. Obviously, hold on, my computer here just kind of. I
definitely, everybody has a great reason to be there for sure. I found for me that I didn't see very much of Sue this episode. I felt like, even at the final tribal, I felt that she said like 7 words, and like it really wasn't about her, unfortunately. But I didn't really find that Sue was showcased that much this episode. This finale.
Well, she didn't have much to talk about. I mean, really, Sue what's her big claim was, I'm really 59.
And everyone was so surprised, by the way.
And it's like,
it's my birthday today.
It's like, dude, I don't think we're going to give you $1 million because you're 59. You know what I mean? Like, that was not enough to justify the jury saying, here you go. I don't think. I think that she needed to, and she did. I mean, she found the red paint idol, and she had
she
some
didn't use
stuff
it in a way that did anything for her game, unfortunately.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, she was there. Yes, she made it to the final 3, absolutely, and that's a huge accomplishment. But let's face it, we know why Rachel had her there, right? And we know why Rachel wanted Teeny there. But yes, they're her girls, but Rachel also knew that with those two next to her, she was definitely a shoo-in. So with Sam, it was a little bit more dicey. Mm-hmm. But I mean, still, Rachel, it was really hard for someone to compete with that.
Absolutely. I mean, Rachel says right at post-tribal, it's her game to lose. Yeah. The game is blind to lose, right? So she knew where she was at. Yeah. She felt, good about her position. And then Sam had to fight. He says he's focused and determined and declares he's ready to fight until the end. So he was always scrappy in there fighting, so that was his role in there, to just kind of get through to the next one each time, right? And he did a great job with that, but not enough to win the game, I don't think.
Well, he had to make the fire work because it was looking a little dismal where he was practicing. Finally, it was looking a little dismal, but like, I was proud of him. He pulled it off. Yeah, but I think Mother Nature helped him. There was definitely divine intervention.
Yeah,
there.
I mean, so we're talking about manifestation. Like, it was maybe it wasn't said. Maybe he wasn't clear. Maybe he said that he wanted to get to the final tribal, so he had his shot to go for the $1 million. Maybe that's what his goal was, and that's his intention, and not win the game. Maybe he didn't have that included in his affirmations.
Yeah, I'm looking real quickly here. I'm looking at post-tribal Teeny. So you're talking about manifestation. She actually says, I've dreamed of this moment my whole life. I'm living it now. So maybe she just dreamt of getting to the final 4, but didn't really dream of winning, based on what you're saying, right? So the words, mean something, right? Because they're obviously a representation of what's going on inside your head. And that's where she was at.
Which is interesting, right? What's actualized.
Yeah, very interesting.
So at the final immunity challenge, this was on day 25, they had to crawl under a muddy net. They had to get a pole and to unweave a rope and to lower a gate. And, it was one of the typical Survivor immunity challenges. I felt bad because it seemed like nobody noticed when the clue that was on the puzzle portion where they had to kind of remove the key. So it says it's what you need to do, and nobody seemed to notice that from what they showed us in the show. But the answer was unlock. Could you guys figure that out? Were you guys trying to figure out and unscramble the words, or how do you guys feel about that? Muddy net again.
I didn't really try to figure it out.
No,
quite frankly, I was just kind of watching. I did not even think about trying to figure. I mean, I saw the letters, and if I think about now as I picture them, I would see unlock, but I didn't really focus on that. I was kind of watching them, kind of watching what they were doing. I wasn't really focused on the word.
Yeah, no, and Sam got it so quick. Yeah. He got it so quick that.
And I'm glad he covered it back up, because Rachel, when she got it, she did not cover it back up. And then Teeny was able to look. It didn't change what was going to happen. But, in the competitive world, you kind of would want to maybe cover up your answers. So that
and she also said, unlock. So she said it when she did it. Unlock. Right.
Fair.
And then a little bit after that, she covered it up.
Maybe that's why she didn't bother covering up.
No, she didn't. She did cover it up, but not at first.
So Teeny does finally solves the unlock part, but then has trouble with the machete. What's with the machete this season? Andy's not great with the machete. Sam in the beginning wasn't great with the machete and the rope. Even then, now Teeny cannot cut this rope.
She maybe had the wrong side of the blade. Maybe.
Again?
Not again. No,
well, not her again, but that's what happened with Andy, right?
Yeah. No, she had the right side, but she's teeny, right? So Sam came along and it was just one chop,
whack,
and it was
he
done,
got it. Yeah.
right? And then you've got teeny like chopping
But
like
they
crazy.
didn't put they needed to put like all their might into it, like an axe.
Yeah.
Not like a chopping knife. You need to use like Sam
like a-
did, like an axe, like
Has
come
like
down
a
as
zing,
hard and
like a
yeah.
Well, think about it though.
Electric.
Like someone just said, they went through the mud, so they're exhausted at this point, aren't
Yeah.
they? Going through the mud and all that stuff. I mean, the only one that would have been happy about that is Sue. Because, well, you know, there's people that go into the mud and get the full body.
Oh, it's like a
healing?
spa day.
A spa day for her, right?
clay healing, clay.
I don't know
clay-
if it's that kind of mud. I'm not sure.
Mud is mud, so
I
she
don't
had a spa day.
Oh my
Well,
God.
that
mud
is
though,
fun.
doesn't it also repel any bugs from like getting all over you? And isn't it
I don't
form a
know
little
about
bit of a sunblock as well?
maybe.
Maybe. I
This
didn't
is
know
pretty-
about that. Next
that's
time I
like
go to
zinc.
the islands, I'll have to do that.
Zinc on steroids? Like what?
You know, I don't know. So Teeny was the last to get to this puzzle. And you know, it's a hanging bat puzzle. Rachel is doing really well at this. Sam started out well, and then he fell behind. Like I think he might have gotten in his head. He started looking over at Rachel's puzzle, and Jeff says again, if you're looking at somebody else's puzzle, that means you're behind. You are
you're
behind.
trailing, you're trailing.
And he pointed that out again. I
And
don't know
maybe
what
that
happened
was
to
the
Sam,
attitude
though.
he had. Sam had the attitude of trailing because look, he got to the throw the ball into the hoop first, or you know, bring down the drawbridge first,
the monkey paw.
the drawbridge, and he was there for so long, trying to get that, and everybody else, all three of them came up and were able to pass him in that. So maybe he felt like he was trailing at that point. But yeah, when he got to the puzzle, you know, he just did not have it down. He got off to a fast start, mind you. So he got off to a fast start, but then, you know, when Rachel went, and I think a lot of it's, you know, I think Jeff throws him off too. You know, look, Rachel's got one more, and she's got another one, and Rachel's got another one. Oh, let me go see what she's got.
Kind of
You know,
like
I think-
Gabe, I'd be like, respectfully, Jeff, can you shut up? I guess obviously you can't say that necessarily to Jeff, but like I'd have to tune him out. I would really have to block out Jeff, I think, because it would be very distracting. But I wish that maybe Sam had a winner mindset, because he did start off strong, I thought, with the bat puzzle. And I thought then, because it was so obvious that Rachel was the winner of the season for the last like 4 episodes, I was like, maybe this is the upset that was going to happen, was that Sam was going to come in here and take this win, because this was the most important win for Sam's game. And
Absolutely.
And then, you know, take out Rachel, and she has no protection, and it would have been a big upset. So I just thought something was going to have to happen. And then when I saw him falling behind, I'm like, really? So Rachel's just going to win the game? Like, that's it? Okay. I mean, great winner, but, you know, where's that tension?
Well, one of the things that surprises me is that Sam, you know, as, you know, athletic as he is, did not win a single immunity. You know, unless well, did he win pre-merge?
I mean, with his Gata tribe, they only went to tribal twice, so
okay,
yeah,
he was part of a winning formula, I guess, for quite a few tribals, or didn't go to tribal.
But not individual. So he didn't win an individual immunity.
No. I think the only people that won individual immunities were Rachel won 4 in the end. Genevieve won 1, Sue won 1, Kyle won 4.
Yeah.
And Gabe won 1.
Gabe won 1 when he did the dance. Yeah.
Did the dance.
But yeah, I mean,
they're doing that in the clubs
Rachel
now. You know
so
that?
dominant.
The celebration dance?
No, his dance are doing it in the clubs.
How do you know?
No, they're not.
I'm totally joking.
I'm like, how would you
remember
know?
that? Everyone do it. It'd be like, was it the bus stop? And everyone's doing that that dance.
I don't know how to do the bus stop. What's the bus stop?
That's
Cabbage Patch. How's the bus stop going?
You know, with the lines and everyone, I forget it, but you know, everyone dances the same way and so forth.
Oh, so like the electric slide kind of thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
I don't know the bus stop though. We'll have to bring
that's
that
what they
one.
call it.
If I
They
make it,
call that before the bus stop. So yeah, the electric slide.
if I
Absolutely.
make it to Vegas, I'll get all of us to do the bus stop for TikTok.
Not going to happen.
What?
It's like that's like
Well,
herding
okay, you'll
cats.
get us. We'll see if that works out. We'll see if that works out. You come and we'll do it. We'll do whatever you want.
That's definitely herding cats.
I can make it happen.
would-
JJ says Sam did win a record though, if that counts for, or win a reward though, if it counts for anything. Yes, he did win the reward that set off Operation Italy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That was a key reward.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he also was in the reward group when Saul found that advantage that he sent to Rachel.
Yeah,
So
the advantage that Andy was supposed to find. Yes, Andy was sitting right beside us. So yeah.
He didn't notice it.
Didn't notice it. Well, because like Sierra was calling him out, so he had to be cagey about it. So it didn't work out for him. I mean, do you think he would have done something differently if Andy had won or had found that?
Oh, you know Andy's mind. Absolutely, he would have done all of his calculations to figure out who had the best odds or the worst odds of winning and given to them or whatever. I mean, but Andy would have been, would have used his mathematical skills and psychological talents to figure it out.
He might have still ended up with Rachel, though.
Ask Andy who
He might have still thought
he would have
Rachel
saved.
was
I'm gonna ask him.
I don't know. They're trying to get Rachel out, so maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
Did he want to work with her then? I can't remember.
He was always trying to work with her.
They were kind of like a bit up and down.
Yeah, he was always trying to work with her, but she always
Wasn't
rebuffed
into,
him or whatever the word is.
Wasn't into that vibe.
Was it rebuked or rebuffed or something like that? She always pushed him away.
They both were.
They both were. Okay.
So Rachel does end up winning this. She's in the Survivor Hall of Fame. There's 5 women who have won 4 immunity challenge. So I think that's pretty awesome. Jenna Maraska, Chrissy Hoffbeck, Kim Spradlin, and Kelly Wigglesworth were the people that won. And only 2 of those 4 women have won the game. That being Jenna Maraska and Kim Spradlin. Kim Spradlin is who a lot of people were saying that Genevieve was playing like. I would say not really, because Kim, everybody loved Kim. Everybody wanted to play with him. Kim played like friends. Do you guys remember any of these people or no these games?
No. I remember Wigglesworth.
Wigglesworth, that's from like
season
the first season, right?
First season.
Yeah. First season.
I don't remember the other ones.
Does Sue still live out here? Do you know? No, not this season, Sue. Season 1, Sue.
I don't know. I haven't seen her in years, so she might. I don't know.
I was thinking that like maybe if we went to the smoothie shop, if that still existed, and do like a little in-person interview if she was still around. I'll look on her social media to see if she's still in the Vegas area.
We used to run into her, periodically, but I haven't seen her in years.
Yeah,
she still lives there. Ingrid says it wasn't luck that Rachel got saved by Saul. She got screwed over by production when she was with the 5 Tukus. She wouldn't have gone home if it was a normal tribal where everyone votes and only one is safe. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. We said this last week that it kind of canceled out her luck with having Saul save her, and obviously putting in the work with Saul for him want to keep her in the game and for her to be a great piece for his game. So yes, she did do some work there for her to have Saul use that on her. And yeah, she did get screwed over by the production in that twist. She got swap screwed that it was random and she was randomly with the 5 Tukus. But it still it's involving luck. You know what I mean? Like bad luck and good luck, both luck. So
well, I mean, here's the thing. If she wasn't there with the 5 Tukus, Saul, who probably wanted to change things up a little bit, get rid of one of the Tukus, would not have given it to her. So she was lucky, in my opinion, that she was 1 in 5 to even get that from Saul.
Yes, that's true. So because it would have happened regardless. So say she wasn't there and it was just the 5 Tukus, it would have been somebody else that would have received it. Yeah.
Right.
I wonder what he would have done.
To get rid of the Tukus at that point. It was like, the Tukus are too strong. I
mean, 5 at the merge is
5, yeah, and which didn't mean anything after all because it was all broken up at that point with people going home. But Yeah, they were strong at that point at the merge.
So once Sam lost this in here, he's pretty defeated. He knows that he's going to have to be making fire here. I mean, which is a great opportunity because in seasons before fire making came about, you would he would have just been voted out. He would have gone home. He wouldn't even had the chance to get to the final tribal. So he does have this chance to get there. But we learned that Sam did not practice fire. He did not try fire over the last 25 days. You guys are shaking your head. Is this Sam losing the game?
Yeah, I mean, he should have been at least practicing. Once he knew that he was going to be doing, but not once he knew he was doing fire, but once he knew he was going into when it was 5, he should have started practicing then, right?
Or even earlier, like just be like, hey, let me try this, guys.
Like that at least then. But yeah, he just I don't want to talk about fire because I know that there's different roles on the camp or on the tribe, and his role was not making fire, and he just sat back and let everybody else do it, which is probably went to his demise, right? So he should have been contributing, should have been making fire.
Or maybe at least trying
chopping the wood, not making the fire. His job was to chop the wood, and he never got that far. But
could be.
He was just like flying off the seat of his pants. He figured, how hard can it be to make my fire? I mean, he just felt like he could pull it off. And I mean, literally till the very last minute, he was struggling. Like he was, like he was flying off the seat of his pants. And he's so lucky that the winds did what they did, honestly.
Well, the winds were blowing both of them. And I think that, the placement of the, knowing that the wind's there, like you should have been doing this to see where the wind's blowing. And then you start your fire accordingly, right? So that's part of the fire making to win this. You've got to place your initial, what do you call that? Your initial stuff to spark the flame. What do they call that?
Is it husk?
What is the husk? Yeah. So your initial husk and where you start your flame should have accounted for the fact that there's wind. Now I get it that Teeny. It looked like Teeny had more wind because the wind was coming from her direction, but Sam had wind too. Mm-hmm. We saw that Sam had wind as well, but I think that he might have placed his initial structure in a place where the wind actually caught that corner, right? So I think there was something to do with where you place and start your fire. So if anyone's listening that's going to be on Survivor, take that as
pro tip.
You can use if you get the fire, right?
Maybe it had to do with where they were sitting. Maybe there was like something behind them where Sam was slightly more protected from the wind.
Well,
I don't know.
Protected potentially from Teeny. And
Teeny protected her because she was in front of him, right?
Right. Like, so it could have to be where they were sitting. And Jeff says, choose your spot.
Exactly.
They weren't assigned those spots. They chose them.
Mm-hmm.
But even before that, I mean, think about it. Teeny had all the help in the world. Rachel's teaching how to make fire. Sam is there. No one's helping him. Rachel's going by and looking and saying, "Oh, how you doing?" "I can't get it." And he's sad, and she just walks away. She didn't say, "Well, do this, do that." Sue gave a little bit of instruction, like, slow down. So she helped a bit, kind of. She didn't really help, but she helped a little bit by telling them to slow down the stroke, right? So he didn't have the help. I mean, everybody was against him. I mean, what a lousy feeling to know at that point that, you're part of the Final Four and everybody's voting for you to lose. Mm-hmm. And so he dug in. I mean, he dug in.
I did like
the challenge. They were helping Teeny.
Yeah, absolutely.
I did like though when they all 4 of them were in the water cleaning themselves off from like the mud from the immunity challenge, and Sam's just like, "Well, you're really gonna let me make fire?" And so like he did have them a slightly spooked that like he was gonna be this amazing fire maker, even though he's been saying that he can't make fire. And Teeny's just sick of Sam, and but Sam actually has never practiced fire, and I was like, Sam.
But Teeny's calling him arrogant and He's getting into my head.
Oh my god. And Sue just even thinks that Sam is gonna feel like an idiot not being able to make fire. Like everyone's kind of feeling bad for. They're like, oh man, oh that's you're not good at this. This is embarrassing. They're really counting him out. I felt bad for him, but I did love when, at least how they showed it on the episode, was how he was taking in the letters that he received at Operation Italy, and words from his father, and him being able to kind of dig deep and go and be like, like I didn't come out here to quit, and he was able to like regroup, and then he goes out, and it seems like he made fire right away. Like maybe it took 10 hours, who knows, but like it seems like he got the inspiration, and now he has the confidence that he at least knows that he can make fire. It has happened. So I thought that was a pretty cool moment of like power of intention.
Do you think that Rachel should have brought him to final at all
No, I mean, I don't think it really mattered, but it just wouldn't have made sense, I think, thematically, to bring Sam. Would you be like to beat the best kind of thing?
Well, I don't know, just to just make it a little bit more competitive at final. But
with the fire making, I think though the loyalty factor that Sue governs herself by, I think would have just soured Sue, and like that would have lost Sue's vote if she didn't win against Teeny. Or, I don't know. I just don't know if it would have been the right look for their dynamic, and like Sue, the way Sue operates, to put her in fire against Teeny. Two people that I don't think it would work. That she was working with, I don't think so. But Taj says, Teeny getting mad at Sam for playing mind games on Survivor. I roll. Teeny is such a hater sometimes. Teeny can be such a hater.
Well, he's tall, he's good looking, and he gets to move the desks. So.
I mean, I kind of get what she means, but like...
He was a teacher's pet.
A teacher's pet.
And like I know the guy that she's referencing. Like I've seen that archetype in class.
We've all seen that.
But that just goes to her insecurities back then, I guess, and she's working through that. So these things pop up, but she's working through it. She did a great job if we get to where she got to, I think.
For sure. So we're right at tribal already, and it's no real suspense other than the fact that, we're assuming that Teeny is going to beat Sam here in this fire making challenge, but maybe there's going to be a battle for the fact that Sam was able to create fire in the final moment. So the jury enters. They're all like, wow, Rachel, because she has the immunity necklace around her neck again. Jeff reminds them of the record that she's now holding, mentioning that only 2 of the 4 people that have the record have won so far. So I guess that's to create tension that maybe Rachel's not going to win. Sam says that the necklace doesn't win you $1 million, which is true. I definitely think that this tribal and the next tribal, Sam, we'll talk about it more, but I think Sam did a pretty good job at the final tribal council. And even having that, like the necklace doesn't win you $1 million. There's a lot of people that have won along the way a lot, and they haven't won the game. So I thought Andy thought it was a good answer.
Good counter. Yeah, good counter.
Yeah.
I thought. Yeah.
Be like, let's take the shine, a little bit of that shine away from this.
Well, Jeff is there propping up Rachel at this point in front of the jury. I mean, yes, she did, make Survivor. I don't know if it's Survivor history, but yeah, she made Survivor history, being, one of the
record holders.
5 people that got 4.
She would be the 5th. Yeah.
Yeah. So, However, I just felt that the way he was doing it and the way he was propping her up, obviously was affecting how the jury was going to think of her. So anyhow, that would have happened probably anyways, but I just thought he was really pushing it towards Rachel at that point.
Agreed. So Rachel won the immunity challenge, and she decided that she does not want to give up her necklace and put herself into fire against Sam. And so she was going to have Sue do that because, Teeny do that because Sue has been the most loyal to her. So Sam and Teeny are going to be doing Fire, Teeny does talk about the insecurities, kind of like you mentioned, and how she projected these insecurities onto Sam. And so hopefully this was going to end their feud. I'm like, I don't know if it will. I don't know if it will, but I hope for your sake, Teeny, it will.
Yeah, I got a question there before you move on,
Mhm.
because I didn't understand it. So what happens if Rachel says, I'm going to make fire against Sam? Does she, at that point, perhaps lose fire and then
Go
goes
home.
to jury?
Yeah.
So why would she do that?
So it comes from season, I forget which number,
Ghost.
Edge of Extinction. And
Okay.
basically in this season, this one player went out on day, like I think it was day 11. He was voted out of the game, but Edge of Extinction, there was an opportunity to come back into the game. And so the whole game plays out. And then at like, I think it was the final 5 or somewhere very late into the game, they had an opportunity to win themselves a spot back into the game. And so this person, Chris Underwood, wins himself a spot back into the game. I think he came armed with an idol. Like he had like a trinket. He had won a trinket or something like that to protect him. And then I think he won an immunity. Like he won a couple things, but he didn't feel like he had a resume because he was off the season for 20 something days, that he didn't know what he could do to be able to show that he's gonna, like, that he was deserving of the win. So he had won that final immunity challenge, and he says, I am going to prove that I deserve to be here and I deserve to win this game. So I'm going to give up my immunity. That's going to make sure that I'm sitting in the final 3. I'm going to give it to somebody else, and I'm going to go up against the person that is supposed to win this game, Rick Devens, and I'm going to beat him against Fire. And so he did beat the front runner in Fire. He goes to the final 3 and he was able to win the game. So
that's excellent.
So now it's expected now at times that people might give up their immunity to have that one big last kind of wow factor in front of the jury to secure a win. But Rachel was saying that she thinks her game spoke for itself, and I agree. I don't think she needed to do that to have the jury think that she deserves the win. But Chris didn't have that same luxury, I would say.
Did Chris end up winning?
Yeah.
Wow.
He did.
Great move.
And he didn't have to sit out there for 20 days.
Well, he was still at Edge of Extinction, but he didn't have to play the game in that way.
That's great.
So,
I didn't understand that, so thank you.
Of course. Hold on. Naomi says it's such hubris to be there for 25 plus days and not practice fire with those specific supplies. Both preparation and manifestation are required for success. Absolutely. He didn't prepare, but he got lucky. Yeah. He did. I mean, I do feel like all these games...
He got really lucky. I mean, talk about luck. I mean, Teeny's, unless it's editing, but Teeny's fire was like up there
blazing.
Right away.
He started off really well, and he had nothing, and it just looked like it was going to be a blowout. And I was starting to feel embarrassed, and I was like, "Oh no, this is bad."
I felt the same way.
And then he finally gets a spark, and it starts growing and gets bigger. But hers is like blazing. But then the wind was coming, and it wasn't just like on that wire, and it just kind of kept on blowing around, and it was blowing towards in favor of Sam's flame, and it was kind of a nail biter. You know how close that it seemed it was.
That was a good part. Yeah. That was probably the best part of the show to me, anyways. The fire making.
Rachel made use of everything that got thrown her way, but was called lucky. Well, I mean, it was lucky that she got the note in her fries. Like, there was no real skill around that.
Yeah.
So I think
she still had to go and get the idol that was sewn into the tarp.
That was great.
So that was skill to if they were all sitting there and she's getting up or going around it to cut that out of the tarp. So yeah
I mean, I think everybody has a mix of luck in these games. And I think Rachel had quite a bit of luck on her side that was paired with preparation, right? Like she was able to make use of all that. Like she was the right person to be able to find all these things and use them in her advantage. So some people may have had the same opportunities and not use them well, but she did.
Yeah.
there's always a little luck to Survivor. Absolutely.
I mean, Sue's kind of an example of that. Had she used her idol on Caroline, who knows how this thing would have played out.
Yeah.
But she didn't use her idol for any purpose. Even when she finally used it, it was for why?
Just to say that
Take
she
it
had
home
it.
and use it as a souvenir.
She should
Like,
have kept it. Yeah. And be like, I still have this.
yeah.
No
So
fear.
It's a little red.
So you make a good point. Like, it's how.
It's a little red, but I still have it. She could have said that at Tribal. She could have kept it, and then at Tribal, the final Tribal said, "Look, I didn't have to play my idol and pulled it out. I'm taking it home."
Yeah.
That helped win Marianne the game. She found an idol that nobody knew about and was still able to get to the end without using it, and was able to pull it out at Final Tribal. And it was one of the things that helped secure her win. So
Oh wow,
it could have been helpful. I don't think that she would have been able to sway the needle in any way this group and this season, but it would have been helpful for her legacy, I would say.
Yeah.
Kind of. So Kate says, right, I think Sam had more luck overall to get to the end. I guess the wind, it's luck. What other luck?
Well,
Sam
I mean,
have?
if you go back again, one of the biggest moves for him was to win that reward that took Operation Italy. So that was, well, he picked the right people to go to it, and he did.
And that was intentional, from what I've heard from
Yeah.
his exit interviews.
Mm-hmm.
Because he said that the person that would be willing to make a move right now would be Andy. And so and he's been working with Genevieve more closely than the show showed.
I guess he had luck that Rachel came and told him about the fact that they were going to vote out Saul. So that was luck that he got that. And then he took it directly to Saul. So he acted on information that he got, but it was luck that he actually had Rachel say that they were going to take out Saul. So I guess that was lucky.
Kate says, and they took out Sierra instead of him at Merge. I don't think that that's lucky. I think that that was because Genevieve wanted to work with him more than Sierra. And then same when Andy also wanted to work with Sam over Sierra. So I think that that's part of his gameplay. I don't think that that was luck necessarily.
You know what? I think everybody that's there, there's skill and there's luck. I mean, you couldn't play the whole game without having some luck.
You need to have luck. You have to.
You know, yeah. So, I mean, I think everyone was lucky to just be there overall because, you know, butterfly effect, things happened that caused them to go in this direction, right? So.
Oh, another lucky moment was for when Rachel chose the correct rock between Sam, Genevieve, and herself. That's like 100% luck there. Yes, she was excellent at the puzzle, was able to get that advantage, but it was luck that allowed her to be in that position.
Pull the right rock, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Kathy. Got to run. Thanks for the coverage this season. It was wonderful meeting you, Sheila and Dad. Happy holidays, everyone. Bye, Kathy.
Holidays.
All right, so, okay, what else happens here? So, wow, that win helps Sam, and he wins fire making. It was shocking. Teeny, of course, is super sad. I loved it when Sam hugged Teeny and just was like, I'm so sorry, because I know Sam, like, he has a heart, and he knows that there's this rivalry that's going on between Teeny and him, and this probably really took away her dreams, and it was by the same guy that she's been trying to get out for the last 6 episodes. And so when he said, I'm so sorry, I believed him. Teeny says, though, I believe I would have won if I got there. And Jeff chuckled. I laughed too. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, you hang on to that belief, Teeny.
But hey, she did say that Jeff smelled good.
Jeff probably doesn't want to be hugging any of these stinky people. Like, but he's so this is her story was a game of one of resilience. Oh no, sorry. Sam said his story is a game of resilience. And I think that Sam was laying the foundation for his final tribal here, just talking about like what type of game that he has, any opportunities he's been in front of the jury. He's just kind of said some, in my opinion, good things to make him look like, have his game be looked at in a good light. So I thought that was good foundation that he was laying. So
Mhm.
Tina gets her torch snooks, get the hugs from Jeff, and then we're on to day 26, Sue's 59th birthday. A boat arrives for them with a table and breakfast, and Sam finally tries watermelon and doesn't love it. What's wrong with this kid? Maybe it wasn't the best watermelon, because I think watermelon is pretty good. Like, sometimes it might be too grainy, and maybe it's not a good watermelon, but I can count on maybe one hand having bad watermelon, right?
Well,
Right?
I mean, we know his palate is
very, very limited.
very selective, let's say. So he's not adventurous, it doesn't seem, in that area. So maybe it's acquired taste for him.
I've never had salt on my watermelon.
I've never heard that.
I've heard of people putting salt on their fruit. I was actually talking yesterday about a girl that put salt on her lemons and limes and eats them that way. Never done it myself. Yeah. How does it just make it more flavorful? Like, bring out the flavor?
I don't know. I've never heard of that. I'm going to try it here.
Does salt bring something out?
Bad watermelon is bad. You have the watermelon is like limpy.
Ooh.
It's no good. You know, it's got to be fresh, crisp watermelon, right? With the juice there. When you take a bite, it just kind of makes your mouth
love watermelon.
water. You know.
Yeah, rotten watermelon is not going to taste good.
No, not good. It's not good. But where it's like rubber, you know, and wilted like rubber. Oh no, I do lemons too. Wow. So I'll have to try that. We got a bunch of lemons in there. I'm going to try some lemons.
Can you do it and make a video of it for us, Sheila? Sheila, videotape him.
What? I don't understand. What
tape me putting salt on lemon and eating the lemon.
Just eat it like on its own.
Yeah, I just want to see what happens. This is you know, like how they've showed like babies eating lemons for the first time, and like it's just like I just want I want a live reaction to putting salt on a lemon.
I don't know if that's gonna happen, but I definitely will try it when you come. I'll try it.
Okay, perfect. All right, so he doesn't love watermelon. I don't hate it, but I don't love it, he says. They kind of go through all the jury, talk about their fallen friends. They talk about Sierra, saying that she was gone too soon. And she says that Sam is the one that makes goals happen. And so, like, how do you feel about this fallen friends segment? Kind of going through the jury, and then the jury kind of talk about certain people's games, the final three.
Yeah, what do you think about it?
You know, like Saul? How do you like Saul? Their perception of Saul being such a cool guy.
I mean, I thought it was good. It's better than, to me, to do it that way than to have this long piece about each person. Like, I think that the way they did it was good, because they were like enjoying their meal and talking about everyone. I thought it was good. I enjoyed that.
And I don't know if they do that anymore, where they actually go on a journey and stop at a spot and talk about that person and go to the next spot. And
they used to do that. Yeah.
They used to do that.
They used to do that. But I liked the way they did it here. It was more
natural.
It was more production, because now you're seeing the jury coming on, and I don't know if they just cut out, you know, because I would imagine that through production, they asked the jury about every player that was left, and they chose which one or which piece to highlight during the show. So you thought that there was going to be some kind of
indication
suspense on who's going to win, right? Because that one's saying this person, this one's saying that person, who's going to win. But we all knew.
I know, and that's exactly why they did it. So, you know, Sierra is kind of talking about Sam in a good light. Saul talks about how Rachel makes people feel comfortable. Gabe, you know, they all say that Gabe was the scariest player. And he's saying that Sue played an unbelievably loyal game. I'm like, okay, you guys just needed a soundbite for Sue here. We know that she's not really in contention of this win. But we had to give her a soundbite. Kyle, they said, what did I write here? Has more drive than anybody ever. And that he thinks that Sam has played the underdog story perfectly. I don't know if he was like an underdog for that long to be playing that role perfectly, but I guess like.
Well, once Sierra was gone, you know, who did he have at that point?
Yeah, I guess Genevieve, but that comes a little bit later. He always found a way to find a way, says Kyle. Caroline Sam knew that she had to go to break them up. He just felt that Caroline was really a strong player and was, getting in the way of him getting to the end. And Caroline saying Sue being the most loyal. We're just like, we know you're not going to vote for Sue, Caroline. Yes, you guys were island besties, but you respect the game too much. But she gave some props to Sue's loyalty. For Andy, he appeared like he didn't know what was going on or what he was doing, but then they actually realized, like, whoa, you're good. And which is what I think everybody found out about Andy, was that he wasn't this bumbling, insecure person that he was on day one, that he actually had a mind for the game. And
I felt for him right there, though, when I think that they did the flashback right there, showing him at the beginning of the season, where he said, he almost said, like, I'm at the bottom, or nobody likes me, or something like that. They didn't even vote for me, or they didn't even clap for me, or something like that he said. So just seeing his face at that, he was really upset. He came a long, long way in this. Andy's my guy. So.
And they talk about Rachel obviously establishing herself as a threat of all threats, and that she has a really good shot. Yeah. Genevieve, they say that everybody was scared of Genevieve, especially Rachel, and she knew that Genevieve felt the same about her. And actually, in a lot of Rachel's exit press, she talks about how her and Genevieve just respected each other's game so much, and they were really open and honest about how much they appreciated each other's game, and they would go to battle in these immunity challenges. One would come out on top, and she said that, and we come back to camp, and then Genevieve would braid my hair. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool that they're just they're friends outside of battle, but when they're in the battlefield, they're going head to head. I thought that was cool.
Frenemies.
And Teeny, they say that she's the biggest personality, and that she was scrappy, but Sam was really scrappy, and he truly played Survivor. I'm like, did he truly play Survivor? I guess. I don't even know what the Survivor is now, because there's so many advantages, disadvantages, like twists and stuff like that. So I don't actually know what the game of Survivor is anymore. Like, do you have an idea? Because you guys are kind of a little more removed than I am.
It's just like social. I mean, there's a fine balance. And we saw it with Genevieve. She wanted to, meticulously or calculatedly, if that's such a word, get rid of people. And she worked, she had, what was interesting was Rachel said on an outtake or exit interview that Genevieve spoke listened 90% of the time. She would listen to people. And then we saw clips of that where she would ask a question, they'd have a conversation. She wouldn't say much. And then she'd ask a question and kind of lead them to come to their own conclusion, but it was based on what she asked. Like, she kind of led them. So I think that she really had a lot of control, but she was formidable. And I think that she was too much in that extreme.
She was playing the game.
Yeah.
However, I would say, and it could be editing, it didn't seem like there was a lot of social stuff in this game, because, and not just the social stuff. People won stuff and they come back and say, hey, I won this. They would tell people, hey, I got this, right? I got this. So, I know in seasons past, they wouldn't have done that. I mean, I'm going back to, I guess, a different, new era or old era. I don't know exactly where it was, but everybody now is coming back and saying what they got. Not necessarily totally truthful, but for the most part, they're telling people what happened on the journey, or wherever when they found stuff, they would, come openly and tell people, which they never would before, never told people stuff before. So, yeah, I think, based on your question, yeah, I guess Survivor is a combination of all of those skills that you have to have: the social, you have to have the physical skills to be able to get through some of these challenges. You have to have the mental skills, because, the game is so mental, plays with your head throughout the whole season, right? So there's a lot of things involved now in this that I think wasn't really there before, because it's in such a short period of time that they have to accomplish all these things. And again, it's really fast. It's really a fast moving game right now. So
Yeah, and so I'm trying to think, like in the past, like I'm still adapting to this new pace. And in the past, though, it would just be like you'd have a lot more time to develop the social relationships with people. And so then I can see like strategically how people worked a little bit better. But now, like, yes, we have like these amazing moves like Operation Italy that will come out of nowhere. But I feel like there was more opportunity for these cool moves to happen in the past. And so I guess I'm just trying to get my feeling for if I were to ever play, like how would I play? Because I have an old school mindset, and I don't really understand fully how to position myself to win in this new era, because there's so many other factors that go into play that is completely out of my control, we'll say.
right to win. But we saw, all of the players had different strategies that they were using, right? So, when you think about the strategies that everybody used, Sue, trust and loyalty, right? You got Rachel, she had to come back and win the immunities, which was great. You got Sam, who had to be, like he said, scrappy, because he really did not have any alliance at that point that he had to do. So he was able to move forward with that. I think overall, so here's my thought on this. And I said this, I think, a few episodes ago. It's all about being flexible. So you're out there, you just got to roll with the punches. Just roll with it. Just whatever happens, and you just be flexible enough to kind of move with the game as the game is going, the game is flowing, because the game's alive, right? It's a live situation completely, and you just got to roll with it. And
I totally agree. And I think it's that, and not getting in the line of fire of an advantage, because they should have maybe accounted for it, but Andy was taken out because he wasn't aware 100% that Rachel had this idol. And so game wise, he positioned himself in a good way to be able to make it further in the game, but advantage wise, he did not have that tool. And so
right.
That's, I guess, what frustrates me about the new era. Like, it's great for the people that it's in their favor and it works for, but it sucks for somebody that's playing against it, that there's no retaliation. If you don't have an idol, you don't have an idol. If you don't have a vote, you don't have a vote. Like these type of things. And so that's what I'm just trying to reconcile with the new era. It's like, I don't know. I like it and I don't like it at the same time,
But the strategy, though, going into the game, you don't want to be too outspoken and be out there where people notice you. Look at Genevieve when she came to the game. Initially, we said, "Who's Genevieve?" We didn't see her.
Yeah.
We didn't see her at all. Oh, that's Genevieve. And so she was low, kind of held back at the beginning. And there's a time to hold back, and there's a time to come on and be strong. And I think that Rachel really did a good job of that.
Definitely Rachel, I think was flexible, used any advantages that she had to her favor, to her benefit. She was strong, visible. I think she was a very strong, well-rounded, excellent example of how to play the game in this new era. I think that I definitely think so.
Well, there you go. Just use her as a model then.
I don't know if I could. I don't know if that's my style, but yes, I will be studying her game for sure. Like, why does this work? Why did this work? Because you have to be not in the front, but you have to also not be in the bottom,
Right.
You have to kind of play in the middle a little bit more than usual. You have to play a super dominant game in the beginning.
And definitely not. You don't want to put anyone's name out there at the beginning. Just, sit back, go with the flow. Is that what we're doing today?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, as long as they don't mention my name, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The anybody but me strategy.
Exactly.
And let's face it, how you come out of the challenges is key. You might have a lucky break in the challenge where you untie that knot just right, or you might get stuck at something, and you just can't predict that. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just the flow of the game. So
I think that's
Rachel
one
was
of
seamless with her immunity challenges.
Yeah, I think that's part of the mistake, though. At first, is winning immunities.
Yeah.
You know, Kyle should have sat back a little bit. Shouldn't have been so strong in each immunity challenge, because that put a target on his back. So you start winning
But
immunities.
then wouldn't you,
early.
if you went home anyways, wouldn't you feel shitty if like you didn't try your hardest and then you go home? And so I don't, for somebody where that's his strength,
Probably. I mean, that was his strength. I get that. However, he put a target on his back by winning 4, right? So at that point, you're not even close to the end game, but you got a huge target on your back, and you're going home. So
and he had to keep winning in order to avoid being voted out.
Yeah, that's true.
His target, like you said, he had a target on his back, and the minute he lost an immunity where he didn't win it, it's like, let's get Kyle out. Now's our chance.
Yeah.
You know, so it's tough.
Late season immunity winner is like, they're going to win later in the season. Get them out right now. Like, people are going to be looking for the Rachel type game as what to not allowed to move further. So I am going to be curious to see how, I guess it would be season 49, because 48 is, I think it's already filmed, has it? No, 48 starts filming in.
No, I heard April. It's filmed already.
Okay, so 49 is filming in
48,
April?
48. No, I heard 48 has been filmed already, right?
Okay, yeah, probably just filmed actually the early fall. So they wouldn't have seen 47 yet. And so 49 will likely have a new idea on how to play the game. Oh yeah, of course. Well, the last time when we got the preview for 47, they hadn't filmed yet. So maybe they're actually going out now, or they might have just gone out like a month ago. I'm not sure. I'll have to double check that, because the preview, I feel like they filmed the preview or something, because I remember seeing Asia when we had watched it, and then she had left like the next, or she was there. So maybe they're filming right now. Like maybe they're still.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, this one Sue was doing Christmas trees and stuff. So was this filmed like last year at this time?
So Sue's birthday is beginning of June. So
so why was she doing Christmas tree stuff? Like, I don't.
Christmas tree stuff.
Yeah, there was an episode where it said something like Sue's doing Christmas tree, something with Christmas trees, or making a Christmas tree or something, or I love Christmas, and she did this whole thing about how she loves this time of year. So
I'm like, where was this, Sheila? I don't remember this at all.
Super sleuth thing.
Yeah, I mean, okay, now I'm really doubting myself, but
I don't remember though.
There was an episode where she was talking about I love Christmas, and it's my favorite time of year, and I have 5 trees in my house and all this kind of stuff. Maybe
I kind of heard something like that.
Kate says it was in the exit press because it was current. Hold on. Hales here says, I think she told Rob that she has 5 trees in her house, so I bet she sets up really early.
But I felt like during the actual episodes, she was doing. Maybe I'm confused.
Well, I haven't seen any of Sue's exit press, exit interviews at all. But I kind of heard something like what Sheila's saying, that we knew that she liked Christmas. So at some point she must have said that Christmas is her favorite.
Maybe it was like about her, because she gets to hang out with her. Did she say grandchildren? Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why I felt like. What was it filmed a year ago?
Anyways, it was filmed in I think April to June, or May to June.
Okay, all right, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, because Sue's birthday is I think June 3rd or June 6th or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And I don't remember having it here, but I remember we knew when Asia was there filming, and I believe for that season though, she was out there on the finale. But they maybe they had footage enough to make a trailer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they did the first challenge or something like that by then. Something like that. All right. So let's just finish up with this amazing season and tribal. Let's get to this tribal. So Sue is feeling underestimated because she sees Sam and Rachel high-fiving, and they're going to be battling against each other and pretty much counting Sue out, which I thought was interesting, because Sam didn't like that when Rachel was doing that with Genevieve, but he's willing to be doing that right now with Rachel here. And so Sam right now is just not hoping just for fire. He's hoping for fireworks at this final tribal council. I thought that Sam really, really, really did a great job with his answering these questions. Dreadful Ruby didn't like how Sam responded. So Dreadful says that Sam is a hater too. The scowl he gave Rachel constantly during the final tribal were insufferable. I thought Rachel also snickered back to him when she didn't agree necessarily with his retort or how he was reframing certain situations. But I really did feel that Sam gave Rachel a run for her money with some of the way that he defended his game. You're nodding, Sheila?
Yeah, I felt he was really well-spoken, exceptionally well-spoken. Like, I think he spent a lot of time preparing. He was very prepared. There was no ahs thinking. He was clear, he was focused, and I think that he'd gone through it in his mind a lot of times where he had it down on the points he was going to touch on. He really kind of went through his game. I think he did great. I still don't think that he had a shot at winning because the scales were just so weighted in her favor. But I just felt like he did a really good job. And then, of course, poor Sue, how does she compete with that?
Yeah. But in the moment, in the moment, they edited to make it look like he had a shot, right? Mm-hmm. So they edited to create that drama. But yeah, they were going back and forth, kind of giving each other shots.
Yeah,
as it went on in that final tribal. So they were going back and forth, and it was quite contentious at that point because Sam said some things, Rachel said some things, and Sam was doing a lot of countering to what Rachel was saying. It was not always, you're winning immunity is, doesn't necessarily get you the win and all the things that he was saying. So I thought he countered very, very good.
Mm-hmm. Kate says for non-lawyer, his presentation was well organized. I agree. You don't have.
And he's only 23. He did a great job.
He's
23,
24. But yeah. Or maybe he's turned 24 since. But Hale says, I feel like he made good arguments, but in a combative way. I think he's being kind of emphatic. I'm probably not going to be soft out there when I'm talking about how I deserve to beat somebody in the game. Mm-hmm. I'm probably going to be a little bit combative. But
the bottom line, it is competitive right now.
Yeah.
You're competing against this person. They're saying one thing. You've got to counter that and make it not look as strong as what that person said. Right? They said this. However, look at it this way. So it's constant reframing throughout that whole piece. Mm-hmm. You got to reframe what the other person said to make it not look as good as it was. So you got to change either the meaning of it or the context of it to make it not look as strong as what that person thought it was. And they went back and forth. They were great at that, discounting whatever the other person said.
I totally agree. I thought they both did a really good job at being like, well, that wasn't. I'm gonna say the things that Sue said. So Sue said she let them know it's her birthday, that she's 59. She would be the oldest woman to win Survivor. Loyalty can make a good guy finish first. She said her biggest mistake was believing Andy 3 times. Is that all? And she loved the compassion and kindness that everyone gave to her. I think that's all I wrote down for Sue. Or her final words were, as a 59-year-old, I beat all your asses. I found the Beware idol, and I would love your vote. So that was what I wrote down anyways of Sue's arguments and reasons to win the game. Is there anything that I missed that she could have said or that she did said that I didn't write down?
I can't remember, but she was definitely doing it for her family, right? So she was doing it to make her family proud. We all know that. And yeah, the oldest woman to win Survivor, but I just don't think people were surprised at her age. I mean, I really don't. Really?
I think they were surprised by it being her birthday that day.
I think that she thought they actually believed she was 45, but they really didn't. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she was of the belief that, oh my God, they think I'm 45. And when I tell them I'm really 59, they're going to be blown away. But I don't
give me $1 million.
Yeah.
But that was a great. I mean, listen, if she would said she was 59 right off the bat, let's get the old person out of here, right?
Yeah, right.
So she did a good job with her game, like lying and saying she was 45. That was good for her game because it kept her in the game, and she felt good about it, and she was able to bring that up at the end. I mean, that's all the gameplay that she had, except for the idol, but she was able to bring that up. That was her biggest move. My biggest move was that I'm really 59, right? So that was her big move.
I thought Andy's question was pretty good. He was saying that him and her were both the biggest super fan, like and Rachel, sorry, were the biggest super fans in the game here. And he talked about Ben Driebergen and Mike Holloway. So if you don't remember them, they won a lot of either immunities or immunity idols, stuff like that, found idols at the end of the game, Ben bombs, and they basically won their way to the end. And I believe Ben was the reason why they put fire making into place, because he did not have the numbers. Like, people wanted to get him out so badly for the 5 or 6 rounds, and he kept on either finding idols or winning immunity. And so at the final 4, there was no idol and he would have just been voted out. And so that's when Jeff brought in firemaking into the equation. So that person that would get voted out traditionally would have the opportunity to take himself to the end. And Ben did do this. He took himself to the end and he did win the game. So their games are not necessarily the most respected because they were destined to go out of the game, but because they were winning idols and immunities, they got to stay and win. So Andy is asking, being the biggest super fans here, Ben and Mike are probably the most, not most high ranked players or winners in the game. How do you think that compares to you? Because she kind of done the same-ish similarly. So I thought that's a good question from Andy, where she could be like, yeah, I won all these things, but I was actually strategic. I actually, was a threat. I actually, people knew that I was a threat and I was working with people and they wanted me in the game, all that stuff. And so I thought that was a really good question to help Rachel highlight how her game was great. Thought it was good. Any other questions that you guys liked here? I mean, I wrote them all down, but we don't have to talk about them all.
No, I don't remember all the questions. I thought it was cool that Rachel talked about her eavesdropping and listening to the conversations of everybody, and then Sam had to say, "We set you up for that." We knew, but not that I don't know if they knew that she was there. I don't believe that they knew that she was there, but he said that we set you up for that because that was disinformation, right? Because Genevieve, we led you to believe that Genevieve had an idol and she didn't, right? So they're just talking about that was a big setup, which I don't know if I believe that. They were still, fooling at that point, Teeny. And she also said that I wasn't just handed, I wasn't just handed advantages, I earned them, which is true. I mean, in any case, when you got the advantages, like you said, with the rock and so forth, that was a little lucky, but she did earn them. She when she went out there, she earned that block of vote when she was on that
journey,
on that barge and so forth. So she did earn them. So I thought that the questions were great at final, and they handled themselves well at final. Well, at least Rachel. I mean, you got Rachel and Sam there, and Sue just sitting there quietly.
It's back and forth between them. I kind of felt bad. Like, it just was like she had nothing to say or to contribute. I also thought that it was a strong point for Sam saying that, he was considered a threat for longer and he was still able to make it to the end, that he has voted correctly every time that he was able to vote, which I thought was pretty good as well. And so he was in the know of most of the information and he wasn't ever on the outside of these things. I think that was strong points. And I knew that Rachel was going to win, but I was like, maybe because I did feel that he made his journey seem a little bit more impressive than it actually was. And so with the editing, I do feel that they are trying to make it look a lot closer. But I did think that he did a great job. And Rachel did say in a lot of her exit press that she was worried that she lost the game because she thought that his answers were so good. So
it's funny though, but throughout the season, I never had Sam as someone that would win. Like, I know there's other podcasts where they were favoring Sam, but I never felt that with him for some reason. I mean, he had the athletic side and he had the charisma and he had, the stature to really pull off some good wins. But I just felt, I don't know, I never felt like he would make it. Whereas there was other people that I said, okay, like I could see them do. I don't know. It's just me. But
I think Sam would have won if he got to the end and Rachel wasn't there. I think that he could have won against Teeny and Sue.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think that says a lot to who are you pegged against at the end? Who are you sitting with at the end? That has a big impact.
Well, he when he had the chance to win, he blew it. So whatever it was, he was not able to finish.
Yeah, that was his game losing challenge.
Right.
Yeah.
Rachel finished.
Yeah. Maybe that's what and it was weird because I never really pegged him as someone who would win, go all the way.
Yeah. Well, and you know what though? I wonder if it's like the age thing. Like she has about like almost a decade on him. I think that it's the being able to focus, right? Like, I don't know if he's like a D1 athlete or anything like that, but there's a certain level of focus that professional players are able to get into the zone where they're able to perform consistently on a regular basis with great results. And it just doesn't seem like he has that, but it seems like Rachel was for whatever reason, was able to tap into that zone where she was able to focus and be able to deliver. And she does say that a lot of the time she would channel her husband Derek's, because he
kind of threw him under the bus. So I thought
her husband. What do you mean?
She says her husband's a great artist, but he doesn't have the confidence. I mean,
I was like, you didn't need to include that. But yeah, I know. I did.
Poor guy. Now, and she wins $1 million. The guy's like, oh.
No, he'll forgive her because she's bringing home $1 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'd be like, well, you could have used it, but
right.
I forgive you. I'll take that car. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. You can make it up to me. No problem.
Okay, so, I do think that Rachel played the most dominant game. She won the 4 immunity challenges. She had the 2 advantages. She had the idol. She definitely controlled all of these powers that she had. This is kind of what Rachel was saying about her game. And she didn't just have luck. She did have luck, but she didn't just have luck. She also had the social connections. People wanted to work with her. She had the loyalty of Sue. She really was a strategic thinker. She was really great at puzzles. She was on an underdog she was blindsided a couple of times, but she didn't allow that to waver, or to shake her. She was still able to focus and continue to move forward. It never seemed like she was down and out, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah. And if you think about it, Sam was not able to bring people together to create any kind of an alliance, but Rachel was always in there saying, hey, this feels like a good group to me, this is always, so she was always putting it out there and forming these alliances where Sue or Sam, neither one of them led that and controlled the game at any point of the game.
Totally agree. So it was time to vote. Sierra is having a bit of a hard time. Sam was her best friend on Gata. And Rachel was also on Gata and one of her best female friends, but she did stab her in the back at one point. So she's having a bit of trouble there with her vote. We do see Kyle voting for Sam. So to create a little bit of tension here that maybe Sam is going to get some votes. And we see the Rachel vote from Caroline. We kind of expected that. Maybe we thought she might vote for Sue, but I didn't really think so at all. So we count the votes. The first one's Rachel. Second one is Sam. Third is Rachel. Fourth is Rachel. Fifth is the winner of Survivor Season 47, Rachel. Dun, da, da. She won.
Our winner is crowned.
Winner is crowned. So people were asking what my thoughts of when I had met most of the players at in New York.
Right. Yeah, New York.
And so I was taking it from, so season 45, we were out a lot with the cousins of the season 45 players, and they were all traveling together all the time. There may be one or two that wasn't at each event. So it was a lot easier for me to see what I felt was the nucleus kind of moving around. And so
You wrote this down too, didn't you? You wrote it down, right?
I mean, I'm just going to tell you my thing.
Okay.
So I don't need to write it down, but
I thought you wrote it down and you're going to show us.
I might have, but it doesn't matter. So that was for D. When D won the game, I was like, it really, with how the cast was all kind of forming around her and just like interacting with her, but I was always seeing them all together. It seemed very obvious. So when I was in New York, there was two people that kind of I felt had like they're moving around and they had this kind of an aura about them. And that was Genevieve and that was Sam. So Genevieve, I felt always, it could be because they're both quite tall, but always just had people that were just around her, kind of looking up to her. A few of her cast and obviously a lot of other people. And same with Sam. Like Sam, when he was walking through, like it just looked like everybody was like clamoring around him. So I was like, I felt I didn't think that Sam was going to win the game. So in my head, so I just automatically thought it was going to be Genevieve for most of the season. Now, I don't know if Rachel was even there because she wasn't around me in New York. So I didn't get to see what that looked like. If I was upstairs, she was downstairs, if that were the case kind of thing. So I didn't get to see Rachel in the wild or live. So I do not know if she might have had more of a glow than those other two. But I did not have Rachel on my radar from seeing most of the cast in New York. So yeah, I thought it was going to be Genevieve. And then when things kind of got weird, then I was like, okay, then maybe it's Sam. Okay, that could be an interesting wrinkle here. And at one point I was like, okay, maybe Sam is going to win this because it did feel like he had an aura, but it could be because
There's
were both
a tall, good-looking guy that moves the desks. I mean, that's why. I mean, he's a magnetic individual that draws people to him.
Yes, and though maybe he does have the star quality. Maybe is what I was seeing with D in her season, or like around her season, and Genevieve as well, because I think that they were both big stars of season 47, and so maybe that's what I'm seeing. But it wasn't in the same way that I saw D, and it wasn't like the whole cast together where it really stood out. So it was a little bit different, but.
I think too with Rachel, we didn't really even know she was around until where Genevieve started to shine and Rachel was still on the down low. So I think that we weren't even really thinking about her.
Well, I mean, remember that was pre-merge that you went to that. So
that's what I'm saying.
You didn't have enough intel.
It wasn't far along in the
That's
season.
true. And when I had this moment with when I saw D for the first time, it was later in the season. It was the episode. The first time was the episode for the Shot in the Dark. So it was close to merge. And so I would have had a little bit more intel, and I didn't know everybody yet. Like, I think it was like the first couple of episodes it happened.
That's what I'm saying. It was early. It was early, and we didn't have that character development yet, in a sense.
Yeah, and Genevieve, I don't think even had come out, emerged yet. I don't even think did the Kashan vote happen? No, we went. The New York was for the Annika vote, so I guess.
But I was rooting for Genevieve at the time, so I don't know. She must have had shown some inkling of greatness. I don't know.
Well, I do think that Jeff really, really likes Genevieve. I think that a lot of people have been talking about her game and just being somebody that they really appreciate watching on the screen. And so that could have been some of the aura that I was seeing as well. And same with Sam, like as much like he does get to the final tribal, he is a second place finisher for the season. If things had shaken out a little bit differently, he could have won the game. And so, maybe I was seeing that, but I didn't get to see Rachel. So unfortunately, I can't give a good assessment of my aura thing unless I see everybody. So Kate wants to know who we think will get on the On Fire podcast. So that's the podcast that Jeff does. He usually has been choosing a player from the previous season to host the next season. Charlie's hosting now. Before that, it was Dee. Before that was Rick Devens, and I believe that was the first season.
I would think Andy.
Andy?
I think Andy would have a good shot at it.
My question, though, if you remember in the tribal council, Andy was answering something and he said the word orthogonal. And Jeff was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And just kind of just brushed him off and like went to another question that he understood. So do you think that he would be maybe too unnerved by Andy? Like that he might be, too smart for him?
Well, who else do you have?
It's got to be Rome.
No, Rome.
No, I don't think. Okay. Another thing, I think no for Rome because I have since seen that interview where he pretty closely revealed the boot order. I don't think that it might have been a mistake. I don't know, but I don't think that production would have liked that. So,
well, he was inaccurate, so.
But he only had one switch.
Yeah.
Oh, it was only one.
Yeah, okay. He had Caroline and
Gabe switched.
Caroline and Gabe or Caroline and Kyle, one of those two, like something switched. But
I gotta go look.
I'm just
look
joking
at that
Rome wanted so badly.
Rome wanted, yeah.
That's why I said Rome, but I mean, I don't think it would be Rome.
I'm thinking Genevieve right now.
Genevieve would be good.
That would be great because she'd have good insight.
Genevieve or Rachel?
I don't know if you'd give it to Rachel right now.
She's got a lot. Genevieve would be a good one.
I feel like Genevieve, he was always asking her things to talk about, and he was always just like mesmerized by like her gameplay and her strategy and all that stuff. So I feel like maybe
Genevieve too. He liked Teeny too.
You did like Teeny
and Caroline.
Yeah, Caroline would be good.
Maybe.
And it was a male this year, so having a female next year would be good. So Caroline would be really good.
He goes, it was really. I think he said nice parting words to her, so I think he quite appreciated her game too.
Yeah.
She was so eager, enthusiastic, and very complimentary to her people.
Cheerleader.
Yeah, I think she would be good. I'm going to go with Caroline.
And Caroline so smart too, like the way she'd assess her assessments would be really good.
Yeah, I think my order would be Caroline, Genevieve, Rachel, then Teeny would be like my order of like how
what about Andy? Andy's got to be in there somewhere.
Well, we're talking about women.
It'll be a girl.
A girl. Well, I just put that out there, because
it has been alternating. So
has it? Okay, so you're probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
whoever gets it, I would think it would really help their not social game because they're in the real world now, but social standing. Like,
sure, it's going to
would elevate them as a podcaster, for a Survivor podcaster type of thing.
They get clout.
Yeah.
In that case, though, like Andy, I think would be a front runner there, just because he's so immersed in the community already, and he's such a big fan. I mean. Maybe that even.
What about Vern Lovett? I mean,
he wasn't there.
But he's a podcaster, isn't he?
Yeah, but
that doesn't carry any weight.
No.
Well, Sam, if it's two men back to back, back in a row, I got pushed back on that idea. I think Sam. A lot of people this season would be really good. I could like a lot of them would do a great job. I think
Sam would too.
Sam would be good.
I think Jeff had a great cast of people to choose from, and that made his job so much easier production wise, because Operation Italy, these guys were pretty creative, and they came up, and Andy was behind a lot of that, and they all came up with great stuff, so it made Jeff's job easier for sure. I know.
Definitely. It's gonna be one of these people. Okay, hold on, let me see if I can find that boot thing here. 1 second. So, final thoughts on this season? Are you gonna watch the next season?
Well, we'll definitely watch the next season for sure. For sure. I don't know if we'll watch it with this kind of intent.
I might force you. We'll see how things go. That's not it. But anyways, from what I remember, if anybody in the chat quickly has that link, that would be great. I have it somewhere, but
I have it.
Sheila's got it. That's what she's looking at. I'm going to step out for a second here.
Hang on.
Are you wrapping it up right now, or can I
Yeah.
step out for a minute?
What if you want to
Let me
say? Are you
step
gonna be
out for a
back?
second.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay, I'm gonna find. I have it here.
Okay. Where are you gonna send it to me?
I'm gonna send it to you.
Yeah, because I'm gonna
What's
pull it
that?
up right now.
As soon as I find it, let me just. I have it here. I only have a million things here. Hang on. The joys of technology. We have all our stuff with us at all times. Hang on.
Genevieve, I mean, I don't know. Do you think he'll give it to a Canadian Dreadful Ruby? Just curious because Genevieve.
Why
is
should it
Canadian.
matter? Come on.
I don't. I'm just asking. As soon as 2 Canadians won, then he didn't have a Canadian on the show for a season.
Really?
And
I
then
didn't know all that. You know more of this history stuff than I do. Okay, hang on. I think I missed. Well, okay, I'm coming. It's coming. It's coming.
I might find it before you.
You're gonna find it before me because I have like a lot to go through here. Hang on.
Oh no, it's gonna be here. Unless you have it in the
I
chat.
got it. I got it.
Okay, send it to me.
I will.
Even though I think I have it here too.
Where are you? I'll just put it. I'm gonna put it in. It's a group. It's a group one.
Okay.
Chat. I put it in.
Okay.
Now I got to look at it.
I have the actual video.
Oh, okay. I just have this screenshot.
I mean, it's still.
So he was right on the final 3.
No, well,
Wow.
he has the whole thing right. Okay, let me just.
Yeah,
play.
you're right. You're right. So yeah, Caroline and Gabe.
Well, Caroline, it goes. Gabe and Caroline are switched, right? Wait, Saul went out, then. Now I can't remember. Then Kyle.
Oh yeah.
Then Gabe. Then Caroline. Then
Wow.
Yeah. So the Caroline Gabe was it where it's a little.
But anyways, okay, you see the list, but there's actually a video where he does it. So what had happened was he was on this podcast and they were doing like a word association. And so the podcaster was going to give him the names of the people. It would have been in no particular order. And Gabe says, Rome says, don't worry, I've got that. And he just does the word association in his own chosen order. And the chosen order was very, very close to, like you see, the winning order.
Yeah, very close. Like the last 7 or 8 were accurate. It's just
that's
yeah. I never
Not
looked
good.
at the room because I looked at it and then I said, wow, why did I look at it? Right. So then I kind of tried to forget about it and not focus on it. I didn't go and fact check him, but now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, he was pretty good.
Did he do it on every exit interview that he did?
I didn't watch his exit interviews, and because I didn't want to be spoiled, you know what I mean? So, I didn't, I didn't go and even look this up until after the game. But I'm going to pull up this interview now.
I had to do it for this in the name of super sleuthing.
Okay, hold on. I think this says a 10-minute mark. Okay. The joys of. Okay, let's see if we can start from here.
Oh, you got the video?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Supposed to trust any dude who has never had pineapple.
Dude, I got my tribe. I hung out with everybody.
Okay, hold on.
Damn good. There are a few perfect things in this world, Rome. I think pineapple's one of them. We do a word association here to get to know your tribe mates a little bit better. I'll give you someone's name, give you the first word or a couple words that pop into your head.
All right, I wrote them all down for you, so let's do this. I got not
cheating.
just my tribe. I hung out with everybody. You got to remember that. I met everybody at Ponderosa. I met everybody at the merge. I met everybody on my tribe. So we can go down to everybody if you want.
That is cheating. Do you just want to read them off and I'll just sit here?
Let's do it. All right, so
it.
Sierra, I got Vibrant. For Tiana, I got Driven. For Annika, I have Leader. For Keyshawn, I have Delightful. For Asia, I have Sullen. For TK, I have Lovable. For John, I have hilarious. For Rachel, I have down to earth. For Sam, I have wolf in wolf's clothing. For Sue, I have passionate. For Teeny, I have chameleon. For Genevieve, I have ice queen. For Andy, I have wild card. For Kyle, I have crafty. For Gabe, I have mysterious. For Caroline, I have organized. And for Saul, I've got big brother.
Man, I'll see you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
I know you're trying to take Jeff.
So that's what he did. So he took it out of the host's hands because the host was going to give him you know, the people, and then he's supposed to just say something back, which would make it completely random and nobody could really draw into any conclusions here. And so it did look like he spoiled a bit of it. He definitely, you know, with the Rachel, Sam, Sue, Teeny, Genevieve, Andy were all correct.
That's accurate. Yeah.
In that order. And then he just mixed up because Caroline would have been next, but he had Kyle there, I think. Or, you know, it was just like one little flip.
Those three are like a little mixed up,
but definitely the final six or more.
Yeah. So.
Well,
actually, it would have been 7 because it was kind of, anyways. So, not good.
No.
Yeah, you're not supposed to plan the free association portion. Absolutely. You're supposed to say first thing that comes off the top of your head, not your planned order and planned. Anyways.
I wrote them down, so I knew that you're going to do this. Yeah. I wrote them down, and, you know, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but yeah.
Asia was sullen.
Mm-hmm. I rolled my eyes to that.
I know.
Well, the first ones were not in order, right?
No, it didn't seem like it. No, but those had already happened, so
right.
It didn't necessarily matter.
Rome.
Okay, well, that is it. Thanks everybody in the chat for hanging out with us for these last 14 weeks. Woo! And thanks. Yeah, I know, right? Wow. 3 months. And thanks both of you for jumping on and being part of my little channel here. It's been great. Do you have any final words to say to my people?
Final words, Jeff. Just fun spending time with you and spending time with your subscribers and just having fun on a Sunday, hanging out with my fam.
Yeah. Fam Sundays. That's it. Oh my God, it's it. It's over.
That's it. It's over.
You subscribe to the channel.
Fire or something? I feel like we need to have a challenge or something.
We need a reunion next week. Let's have a reunion next week.
We'll have a reunion show. Well, can you get some flint for me for Christmas so we can all practice making fire?
And some husk.
Yes.
It has been awesome. Thank you.
Thank you everybody here in the chat. Obviously it's been a really fun time. I appreciate sharing this channel and Survivor with you and with everybody in the chat and everybody that watches after. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video. Let us know what do we want to know, what do we want to chat about in the comments. Who do we think is going to be the next host of the On Fire podcast? So let me know your thoughts and theories in the comments below. We can continue this conversation offline.
I got to say, though, we don't know whether we're going to be back next season or not, but we'll see. We have to keep some tension in there. Are we going to be back or not, right?
Keep people wanting more. They're going to be clamming for you. Dangle a little carrot. Maybe we'll be back.
We don't know. We'll see.
We will see.
Right. Bye. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.